What's up, metalheads? Lord Metalblade here, and welcome back to Lord Metal Reviews. Now, in the last episode, we talked about Cannibal Corpse's latest single, Inhumane Harvest. For this episode, I'm going to be talking about the 2019 Metal Blade Records release of Atonement by Killswitch Engage. Let's get into it. Now, for those of you who don't know who Killswitch Engage are, they are a metalcore band from Westfield, Massachusetts, formed in 1999. And from that point, in my opinion, I have considered them the kings of metalcore because they have been around for so long and they've released tons of great records. Now, they've also had two singers, the very first singer being Jessie Leech, and then I believe it was in 2002 or 2003 he left the band and Howard Jones, my favorite Killswitch vocalist, stepped in. And they released great records such as End of Heartache, their self-title in 1999, and As Daylight Dies. And this album is actually the follow-up to the 2016 release, Incarnate, which is a great album, but when this album came out and I listened to it in full, I was completely blown away. This is actually my album of the year of 2019. It's an album that's emotional, it's heavy, it's got slow, amazing tracks, it's got the fast stuff, and I'm going to be getting into all of that. Now, the very first song I heard was The Signal Fire. I believe it was the first one that was released that I actually saw. And, excuse me, my dogs are going off. I'm sorry if you heard that. But when I saw the video for The Signal Fire, and mind you, Howard Jones guest vocals on that song, which is probably the best song on that album. I had goosebumps on my arms when I was watching the video. It was like, watching the video and listening to the song, it was like a family being reunited after a long time. And just seeing Howard and Jessie singing together was just phenomenal. Also, there was another guest vocal on this record. On the track The Crownless King, Chuck Billy from Testament also guest sings on this album. And my God, just listening to his vocals on that song is just absolutely crushing. It just seems like his vocals was made for that type of song. It's fast, it's got that thrash element on there. You can definitely tell that Killswitch did their thrash homework. When it came to the guitar sound on the record, it's flawless. I mean, Adam D just goes at it, and watching his performances on stage is just funny. He's a funny guy. He's a great guitarist. Jessie's vocals on the album, it's a definite step up from Incarnate. I didn't listen to much of Disarm the Descent. I listened to a few songs on there, but I listened to Incarnate in full. I thought it was good, but this album just blows it out of the water. But I think one of the most emotional songs on here is probably I Am Broken too. I actually remember watching the music video, and I actually got a little choked up watching it. And it's a great message that the song gives out, that there's people out there that have been broken and, there's always a chance to seek help. It's an amazing song. This album is, honestly, I would give it a full 10. This is one of those metalcore albums I would give a full 10. It's just, I cannot stop listening to this album. I think that Jessie and the boys really outdid themselves on this record. I really wonder what they have next in store. The drumming on the album sounds amazing. I just think Justin does an outstanding job with his drumming. Mike D, the bassist, his work is flawless as well. But like when I said in previous reviews, when I listen to a band, the first thing I go to is the guitars because I'm a guitarist myself, and I really want to see how each guitarist sounds on each album. So, if you are a metalcore fan, I highly suggest listening to this album. Listen to this band, and just listen to the stuff that they put out over the years. I mean, from their self-titled release in 2000, they have two self-titled releases. One in 2000 with Jessie Leech on vocals, and then they have another self-titled release in 2009 when Howard Jones was in the band. It's got all of that element. It's got that metalcore, it's got that thrash, it's got that old school metal sound. It's Killswitch Engage is a band that can't do any wrong. And just, I was actually a little hesitant listening to Jessie's vocals for a while, because I just thought they were a little bit too raspy. And then, again, I went back and listened to more of Jessie's stuff. I ate my own words. I should have listened to Jessie's material way long ago. It's just, I don't hate Jessie Leech. I just prefer Howard Jones. And then when I listened to The Signal Fire, it was just listening to End of Heartache or As Daylight Dies all over again. And just hearing the both of them together is just amazing. I love this album. This is one of those albums that's going to stick with me for a very, very long time. And the artwork on the album looks pretty sick. You got this lion head and all of this graphic design right here, as you can see. And then on the back right here is the continuation of the artwork, plus the song titles here. Just like right from the beginning song, Unleashed. It's a slow song, but it's one of those songs that gets you hyped for the album, because right afterwards, you know what's coming. The Signal Fire is right afterwards, and then it's a headbanger. It's just catchy. It's amazing. And very, very good metalcore. It's just, I'm so glad they chose Chuck Billy and Howard Jones to guest sing on this album. I don't think they could have chosen anyone better. It's just, I really wish they would do a tour with Devil You Know. Now, the band name has changed. It went from Devil You Know to Light the Torch, but I prefer Devil You Know. I would love a Devil You Know Killswitch Engage tour where Howard joins Killswitch for The Signal Fire, and possibly this would be an awesome tour. Once this whole stuff dies down, have a Killswitch Engage, Testament, Light the Torch, Devil You Know tour where Howard sings Signal Fire with Killswitch Engage, and then Chuck Billy sings Crownless King with them. That would be amazing. That would be one of the best tours ever, because Killswitch is a band I want to see, and I would love for them to do a tour where they play this album in its entirety. But like I said, give this album a listen. Give the band a listen. This is probably the best metalcore band, in my opinion. Not fact, strictly my opinion out there. Killswitch Engage is one of the best metalcore bands on the planet. It's just, and I'm going to be honest, out of their whole discography, The End of Heartache is my favorite. This is a solid rival to it, because it feels like a lot of their work, like End of Heartache, End of Heartache, As Daylight Dies, Incarnate, all wrapped into one. And then it's got a little hints of Alive or Just Breathing in there. This album is just amazing. I know I keep repeating myself, but I wanted to get this review out because it's one of those albums that's helped me a long way. I've been through some bad times. I've been through a lot, and this album is one of those that helped me through it. I go back to this album and I listen to it fully, and it's like a breath of fresh air listening to this record. But anyway, guys, like I said, this album is a complete 10 out of 10, in my opinion. I highly suggest this band. I highly suggest this album. You guys go listen to it. That's all I have to say about this album, Atonement by Killswitch Engage. Absolute metal masterpiece. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like, leave a comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm Lord Metalblade, and I will see you metalheads in the next video.